Howdy mates, good afternoon. How are we all doing? Here's a part 3 video. So I'm at another rest stop on the Mayaca River before I actually turn around and make my way back. But I'm actually up the furthest I've been so far. I've never went this far up the Mayaca River before. And actually, right now we're getting a bit closer to the Mayaca River State Park, as a matter of fact. And by the way, if any of you have never been to the Mayaca River State Park, you're missing out, because that is truly a gem in this part of Florida. But as part of this video, I want to focus upon a specific type of shrub / tree that is found here in Florida. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so as I make my way towards the edge of the bank, you may notice that there's quite a few different shrubs going on, right? You may have noticed that right away. So, for those of you who do not know what this is, but some of you may, this is actually something called Salix Caroleana. Something like that. Caroleana. Also known as the Coastalplain Willow. So yes, this is indeed a species of willow. And this is the only type of willow that is found in Florida. Crazy, isn't it? But yet, they do have a wide range. So think of it this way. They usually have like a mid-Atlantic range. So that means they could range anywhere from Florida and even parts of the Midwest as well. Actually, as a matter of fact, I have been able to see these even up in Ohio, but they're actually a lot more rarer. You won't really see them as often. Now, for those of you who probably hear the word willow, you might think of aspirin. So, in a sense, yes, you actually have the right idea. But let's break it down a bit more in terms of the chemistry. So oftentimes with Coastalplain Willow, it's actually filled, you can find it on the bark. It's filled with a compound called salicin. Okay? So you have something called salicin, but then when you mix it with another chemical compound called acetyl chloride, it will actually create aspirin. So essentially, aspirin is sort of more like the laboratory version of what's offered from a willow. But yet, the compounds that are still used to make aspirin is still natural. Especially the salicin, as I mentioned. Now, what's particularly neat about Coastalplain Willow is the inner bark is indeed edible. However, though, it has been used to help relieve headaches, but the pain it can sometimes cause discomfort in your stomach. And that's why one of the large developers by the name of A.G. Bayer, back in 1897, actually incorporated that mix of acetyl chloride and salicin to actually create an aspirin that does not have any side effects. Now, commonly what we use aspirin for nowadays is just to relieve headaches, and it indeed works. But even the Seminole tribe, for instance, they would use it for other purposes. They would use it to relieve aches and pains, and even fever as well. But they do like moist soil. So that's why you will oftentimes find them along the edge of a bank as it gets right by the river. Makes total sense. So essentially, the Coastalplain Willow can really tell you about the quality of the soil and how much moisture there is. So we are almost getting to the time of the year where they will start to bloom. And actually, I want to see if there's one that's accessible. Doesn't look like it. But when you look up a little bit, this is actually I believe this is a female. Because it has something called catkins. They're essentially the reproductive part that makes up a Coastalplain willow. And oftentimes these catkins remind you of looking at, say, a paintbrush, for example. So the important thing to know is that they are indeed dioecious. So it does come in a male and female form, separately. But usually when it approaches late winter going into the spring, that's when you will see more of those blooms. Gosh dang. I'll be sure to actually take a picture once I'm finished making this video, because I cannot zoom in while filming. Now, another fascinating thing too is due to how much cover it produces, it's actually very valuable for our wildlife in the form of cover, and it's even a host plant for up to 100 separate species of butterflies. That's amazing. So essentially, all of these willows provide a nursery to allow our pollinators to still develop and grow. So then, oftentimes, too, when you look at the leaves, they have a bit of a lance shape, and it is a bit yellow, too, so that's how you know if you are looking at a Coastalplain willow. And especially for our birds, these are very valuable sources of food. But yeah, you guys, I'm sure many of you have seen plenty of these around. But essentially where I am standing, this is like a natural pharmacy right here that can actually help provide natural aspirin before it turns into a prescription. But yeah. My goodness. It's been a gorgeous day out here. Wow. It's alright, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that video regarding the Coastalplain willow. That's the thing. I wanted to at least make a video that pertained to the flora that you can find in the state. And that I can put a check next to that. It's alright, you guys. Enjoy your Wednesday. And once again, Journey on a Journey is outwards. And you guys are more than welcome to share this video as well, for those who would find it useful to know. So thanks, you guys. And alright, take care. See ya.